Hello, I'm Dana Martin. In this video, I want to discuss how important it is to find a support system when dealing with a loved one that's an addict. It's extremely important that you understand that you cannot do this alone. You must have a system of support. When my daughter was in active addiction, I relied on my husband at the time to help me navigate through the problem, and unfortunately there was great tension in the marriage already, and this addiction only added to that tension. So I really didn't have the support from my spouse at the time to help me through this difficult journey. My son is 1 year older than my daughter, and he was very supportive. In fact, he and I would have many conversations about his sister, my daughter, and both of us were like mind in terms of how to proceed to help get her help, and just kind of being there for each other and saying the right things at the right time to make us feel better. So my son was definitely part of my support system, and I was for him as well. My family, some members were very helpful, some were not. And in talking to nieces that are attorneys and other nieces who were dealing with their own family member addictions, and very loving big brothers, I had to work carefully when I talked to them, because specifically my big brothers, I had one brother not like the way I was dealing with my daughter's addiction. He thought I should be doing something different, and at one point got a text going with other family members to say they were going to come to Las Vegas and they were going to come take my daughter and get her out to Texas and get her into rehab and take care of her there. And funny thing, I didn't get angry with my brother, because I just knew he loved his niece and wanted what he thought was best for her. So when you have family starting to attack you and go, what are you doing? You're not doing it the right way. And they want to kind of shove their opinions down your throat and tell you exactly how your loved one can be fixed. I just want to caution you, please remember they're doing it from a place of love. They're not trying to take over and be controlling. I mean, they could be. In my case, they weren't. I'm just sharing my story. So in my case, I knew where my brother was coming from. And from the outside, it did look like I wasn't doing necessarily what was right for her. But that's another video to talk about strategies to use and how to actually really help your loved one. So other members of the family were very helpful. My niece, who is a lawyer, always gave me good advice and helped me navigate through some of the more difficult decisions. And also, she is very familiar with criminal defense, and so she could give me some insight into legal problems, and also kind of where my daughter might go next in terms of her path. So kind of predicting, hey, this is probably going to happen, you need to be aware of this, and that was very helpful. My therapist was helpful. She did many sessions with me in dealing with my daughter and how distraught I was. She was really coming to help me with my self-care. And she did let me know that this was not an area of expertise for her when dealing with addicts and drug addiction. And she actually suggested that I go to a family support meeting that was across town, and that was a free meeting to attend. So that was great. I didn't have to pay more money for more counseling, but it was part of a recovery center. And that place was my new home. My son and I went together, and then I continued going on my own every Friday night. My husband at the time never joined me. As I said, there were tensions going on there. But I did find that became my true support system outside of my family. I learned more there in one evening with a 1.5 hour session with a counselor than I did Googling or talking to other friends or family or anybody. I started getting the attention for the addiction that I needed, and it helped me literally deal with what I was going to say to my daughter, how my daughter would probably react. I was able to go in and hear all the other families, and let me tell you, there's never less than about 15 people at these meetings, and it's anonymous, and you never know who's who. You see each other for this brief moment, 1 to 2 days a week. And if you want to have a relationship outside and contact numbers outside, that's certainly feasible. But for my first year of going, I didn't even know anybody's phone number. I didn't even know their last name. Point is, when I went and listened to their stories, it helped me put into context what I was dealing with. So many of our stories were exactly the same. And so many of the things that the counselor would say would hit everybody at the same time, and we all took something away from it. So not one moment is ever wasted in family support meetings. And all you have to do is check with recovery centers in your area. And as I said, my therapist suggested I go. And so if you are seeing a therapist or you know any counselors, you can check with them and check with the city. Just call any of the drug-related agencies. Maybe they can help you. But that has been, I'm still going a year and, oh my goodness, almost 2 years later, I'm still going. And I still write down what I hear. I keep a journal. I have learned what I need to say to my daughter, and that's a whole other video, several videos of how to say things and what to say, and how to not beat yourself up when you're saying things that you think are harmful but are actually helpful. Again, more videos in the future, I promise. The last thing I want to say in terms of resources are places like Nar-Anon, Al-Anon, ACA, which stands for Adult Children of Alcoholics. These are all support groups that you can go to that are free as well. They will give you pamphlets. If you go to any kind of family support meeting, they will give you these pamphlets. And you can find, there's over 1,000 meetings in Las Vegas alone that I've been told, that you can go for any sort of addiction that there is out there. There is a support group, and that is very much like the family support group that I go to, the family support group for families of addicted loved ones. I go to another one of those meetings from the other groups that I just mentioned, and I go to it every week and have been going there for almost 2 years, and it has helped tremendously. I will tell you, support groups are the way to go. So find one. And don't worry about people looking at you and judging you when you walk in, because no one is judged in those rooms. We are all going through the same thing. We all share the same burdens, and we can all share our stories and share our heartbreaks and share our love for one another, because you do. These people become like family, because they know how you feel, they know what you're going through, and they might just have something to say to you that helps you get through another day. So this video has been all about the resources that are available to you. Again, look in your area. There are plenty of resources there available that you do not have to pay a dime to go to. And as I said, they have helped me and continue to help me on this journey through helping my addicted loved one. Thank you for your time.